Knicks needed a big win. You're watching the Celtics against the Bulls, and we're like, oh, my goodness, the point differential's going like this. But we can tell you that with the plus 42 point differential, at worst, the Knicks are going to be a wild card and will play next week in the quarterfinals. Depending on the Heat-Bucks outcome, and the Knicks very well could win the group. The Bucks lose, and Miami's now up by 3. You got all this?
I got it.
If the Bucks lose, there's a 3-way tie. Knicks win the group because of that point differential over the Bucks. So we'll keep you posted on the Heat and Milwaukee, but right now we can tell you the Knicks are a wild card team.
I love it. This is exciting stuff. It really is. Think about it. On a national stage, you get out of group play. There are 8 teams left, 4 from the Eastern Conference, 4 from the Western Conference. It'll be quarterfinals. Those 8 teams will play to get to a Final Four that's going to go to Las Vegas to hoist the first NBA Cup in the in-season tournament. There's a lot of incentive for the players, for the coaches, a lot on the line. I think this is going to be excitement personified, and it's going to be on a national stage, that Final Four and also the Final 8, where a lot of people are going to be watching how good this New York Knicks team is. I'm very excited about it. Let's go back to the third quarter when the Charlotte Hornets cut it to 1. And what was happening in the green room, you were very nervous.
Well, but you're watching in real time with the point differential. That's all that matters tonight.
I know, and then the Knicks kicked it into gear. Boy, did they play well to end that third quarter. Julius Randle, he was outstanding. The defense was there, the points, the rebounds. This steal was big in transition, back and forth. Quentin Grimes gets the easy bucket. Scoreboard starts to go in the right direction for the New York Knicks. Give the Hornets credit. They fought, but they were very undermanned. Jalen Brunson, another outstanding performance. And Emmanuel quickly, 23 points off the bench. Boy, has he been clutch. Boy, has he been key. Josh Hart, season high, 17 points, knocked down 2 threes, came in and played outstanding basketball. That is a big-time closeout win for the New York Knicks to stamp their ticket into the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup.
You see the stats, look at the bench points, 56-55. You mentioned the Knicks lead cut to 1. From that point on, the Knicks outscored the Hornets 59-36. We're now joined by Emmanuel Quick. Congratulations on another great game. Looks like you guys are going to be able to move on, very likely to be a wild card here in the in-season tournament. Were you aware of the need to win by a large score, and how might that have impacted how you guys played tonight?
I ain't gonna lie, I found out right before the game, so I literally was just showing up like it was a regular game. They told me we need to win by a certain amount. So, but we play every game like it's our last, and we have to have that, sense of urgency every time we step on the floor. So.
Quick, speaking of playing every game like it's your last, you're having a lot of fun out there. It's fun to watch you play. Just enlighten us on that second unit when you get onto the floor with Josh Hart and company, Isaiah Hartenstein, the chemistry that you guys have.
Yeah, everybody in that unit, really everybody on our team is just really playing unselfish basketball. We'd like to get out and run. Starts with our defense, and then that bleeds into our offense. So we got to continue to do that to scratch our wins.
If you guys do advance, what would it be like to play in Vegas for a few extra, a little bit of incentives there? Like, what's the mindset for you guys if you happen to advance? A lot of eyeballs on this team nationally if you get to Vegas.
Yeah, that's the goal. If the NBA added it, so we might as well try to go win it. Josh Hart was talking about getting a new watch. I ain't really a watch guy yet, but we just enjoy competing, man. Anytime you get to lace your shoes up and show what God's gift is, what He gave for you, you try to go out there and do it to the best of your ability. So we have fun doing that.
All right, hey, Quick, always great to talk to you. Congrats, and we'll see you on Thursday night when you guys host Detroit.
Appreciate y'all, man. God bless.
Boy, I tell you, when these games are on the line, now, obviously it was on the line tonight, but in the fourth quarter, he's just been phenomenal. He had 13 of his 20 tonight in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and, he's coming off the bench, so that's when he's going to get his big minutes. Obviously, he's got to wait the first 5-6 minutes normally in the third quarter. He gets in the game. Tom Thibodeau pretty much leaves him in the whole rest of the game. That's how much he loves him out there on the floor. That's how much he trusts what he brings. What makes him so valuable is he's great with the second unit, and he also can play with the starters, too. He complements Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle perfectly, so he can finish games, close out games, and his defense is outstanding with both those units.
All right. right, we go across the street now. Alan Hahn helped call the game on the MSG Radio Network. Alan, how's your math tonight so far?
We were playing that game all night long. I was going to ask how your heart rate was throughout this game, up and down, just like the point differential, Bill. But it was that added element to it, right? Normally, this is a Tuesday night against the Hornets in November, but this added a little sizzle to it, and the scoreboard watching that was coming with it. And even when the game got close, and you credit the Hornets for playing hard throughout this game, it did make it, just added that element to it. And the Knicks did what they came to do. They did what they had to do, and they ended up getting the big win, and now they get to move on into this tournament. And I quickly said what Josh Hart said. He told us that on the radio broadcast when we interviewed him. And I said, well, it's a $500,000 that are still on the line for you. He said, yeah, that's a watch. That must be a really nice watch, Wally.
I know you have some watches like that, Alan. But all in all, I think I am just completely encapsulated by this in-season tournament. It kind of mixes up the regular season. Like, what do you think it would mean to this fan base and this franchise if they could get to Vegas and hoist that first cup?
Yeah, I mean, look, there'll be the jokes, of course, as always, but it's the first time they're doing this, so somebody's got to win this thing and celebrate it and see where it goes. But I'll tell you what, if you think about it, the Celtics are not going to advance now. So that's the best team in the East that's not in the way. When you think about it, where do the Knicks stack up against whoever is going to be left in this thing? You might think they have a pretty good chance to at least get to Vegas.
Alan, Julius Randle was fantastic. You wanted to emphasize, and you made the point in the pregame, needed to get a good start. They got the good start tonight, which has not been the case the last couple of games, and Randle had 11 points in that first quarter.
Yeah, and it had a lot to do with Julius Randle. What I noticed was Jalen Brunson, I think he might have taken one shot in that first quarter. He really wasn't as assertive as he normally has been. I said watch him at the start of the game to see if he'd be aggressive, but instead what he did was he let Julius Randle cook early, let him get going, and Randle needed that. He got off to a great start, which he was doing a lot of last season, and maybe, just maybe, that's what allowed the Knicks offense to really get untracked. It was him, it was R.J. Barrett getting to the basket as well, and while Brunson has been phenomenal this season for the Knicks, luckily they didn't need him to be a big-time scorer in this game, and you got to think about it statistically, the performance by Julius Randle, a 20-20 game. And he had to do all of that. The rebounding was critical, but of course that early scoring was big. And can't say enough also about Mitchell Robinson and the game that he had. It always is one of those where if you're looking at the box score, don't look at points. Rebounds are going to be there, but it's the blocks and the steals and the way he impacted shots that just continues to jump off the page for him as one of the best defensive centers in the game.
All right, Alan, great to see you as always. We'll see you on Thursday night.
You got it, boys.
All right, Alan helped him call the game tonight on MSG Radio Network. Julius Randle, 25 and 20. We talked about Brunson. Alan mentioned Brunson, only 12 points. Didn't force anything, Jalen Brunson. It was Julius Randle's night, 25 and 20.
That's what great point guards do. He assesses the situation with his team. If he feels like one of his teammates has a matchup advantage, is hot, has things going. This was Julius Randle's first shot of the game. When he nailed that three, I was sitting there in the stands thinking, it's going to be a big night. Julius Randle's a guy that just needs to see the ball go through the basket a few times, especially from the three-point line. Then he becomes impossible to guard because he starts driving to the basket. Once he gets around the hoop, he has an array of moves where he can finish, get himself to the free throw line. It was the complete effort. I mean, he was abusing multiple defenders on the Charlotte Hornets. They did not have an answer for him. And how about this play? Shoots the passing lane, gets the ball back in transition, gets that easy two. Those type of buckets really help your shooting percentage and your efficiency. And I like the efficiency with the dribbles, not just dribbling it too much. When he made dribbles and when he made moves, he made them with a purpose, he made them with aggression, and he played outstanding. And we take into account he's a great rebounder. We know that. A 2020 game, I mean, that is big time. That is the type of stuff Tom Thibodeau loves, and that is the underrated part of Julius Randle's game. He's a double-double machine, one of the leaders in the NBA.
Bucks closing in on a win, Wally, over the Heat. They're now up 5 in the final seconds. If that holds, Bucks win the group. Knicks are a wild card.
Okay.
So that's where we are. We'll keep you posted on that.